So, a cup victory at Anfield on penalties. That was tense, wasn't it? Hello, my name is Richard and welcome back to my channel over and over and over again, which features everything to do with Arsenal. Now in this video I just want to look back on last night's Carabao Cup victory away at Anfield. Just before I do that, I just want to make sure that you are all subscribing to my channel. If you like what I'm doing, please click the subscribe button down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up as well, because that really helps it to get noticed on YouTube. And if you've got any comments as well about the game last night, about the performance, about the team selection, anything at all, please drop them in the comments box as well. It'd be great to hear what you guys think about it all as well. So last night then, a very tense and tight game, wasn't it? We eventually came out on top via a penalty shootout. It's the second time we've beaten Liverpool on penalties this season, of course, having also had success in the Community Shield. Now overall the performance last night from Arsenal was not the greatest performance, let's be honest, despite the fact that we'd made less changes to our side than Liverpool had. I thought we had a much stronger team in terms of experience of the Premier League than Liverpool did, but in the end we were maybe a little bit fortunate to hold it to a 0-0 draw. Now the main reason for that, of course, was a fantastic performance, wasn't it, from Bernd Leno in goal. He's took so much criticism this season since Emi Martinez has left for Aston Villa, which of course is nothing to do with him. It's not his fault, is it? What people seem to forget is that last season and even the season before he was fantastic for Arsenal. Proved himself to be a top class goalkeeper, and before his injury last season, of course, he'd probably been our player of the season. The amount of games he kept us in, certainly in the dying embers of Unai Emery's reign at the club, and even into the early days of Arteta as well. So he deservedly was the number one goalkeeper, and he deservedly remained the number one goalkeeper even despite Emi Martinez's great performances towards the end of last season. And of course last night he showed exactly why he is the number one and why he deserved to be the number one. I mean, that was a top class performance from Leno. He made 7 saves in the game, and that was of course before the penalty shootout. Now whenever your goalkeeper's named man of the match, that tends to suggest that your performance in front of him hasn't been the best, and I think that's fair to say from last night, if we're perfectly honest. Quickly running through the team, and obviously Leno was in goal. Now looking at the team sheet when it first came through, it did look as though we were maybe going to be playing 4 at the back, because we had Cedric Soares, a natural right back, we had Sead Kolasinac, who's a natural left back, and then we had 2 natural centre backs in Rob Holding and Gabriel. So it looked for all the world like that was going to be set up as a back 4, especially when you then saw we had Dani Ceballos and Granit Xhaka and Joe Willock, 3 central midfield players. So they looked like a 4 with 3 in front, and then a front 3 of Nicolas Pepe, Eddie Nketiah and Bukayo Saka, of course, who got called up to the full England squad earlier on yesterday as well. So congratulations to him, fully deserved as well. What a fantastic year he's had. But it turned out once the game started, we were actually starting more with a 3 at the back, certainly when we had the ball, which was Holding, Gabriel and Kolasinac. Then Bukayo Saka and Cedric Soares were the 2 wing backs, with Dani Ceballos and Granit Xhaka in the middle, and then up front of course there was Pepe, Nketiah and Willock was sort of pushed further forward, and then of course when we didn't have the ball it almost became a back 4 again. We've been doing this quite a lot under Arteta actually, and it's an interesting way of playing. I still think the players are maybe adapting to it a little bit still. I still don't think it's quite natural for a lot of them, but we put in a good shift last night. I thought everybody put in a shift. We didn't have the best quality going forward in particular. In fact, in the whole game we only really created 2 sort of good opportunities to score. I felt 1 in each half. There was a one early on with Eddie Nketiah. It was a good move actually down the left hand side. Pepe actually playing on the left this time instead of the right, which probably does suit him better if we're honest. He sees more direct playing on the left. He got clear down the left, balled the ball back into the centre. Willock pushed it onto Nketiah, and he just delayed too long, and the Liverpool goalkeeper Adrian was able to come out and smother it. He should have done better with that really. You know, he's a good penalty box finisher usually, but he just took too long, maybe waiting for the ball to settle when he maybe needed to just have a strike at goal. And then the next chance wasn't really until the very late stages of the game. Again, it was Pepe involved with that. He put in a great cross from the left-hand side. Rob Holdings had a free header about 6 yards out. He puts it either side of the goalkeeper. It was a goal. We would have won 1-0. Instead, it was too straight, and Adrian was able to make the save. But they were really the only two opportunities that we had, and I think that demonstrates even more obviously than maybe previously that we are lacking serious creativity in the midfield. It's just blaringly obvious. We're just not creating very much at all. You know, we worked hard last night. We were solid defensively for most of the game. Yes, they had some chances. It's just we just lack a lot of creativity going forward now. You know, people say, oh well, it's Liverpool. Yes, it wasn't Liverpool's strongest team, let's not forget, and also as well we did struggle against West Ham in the Premier League as well, so this is a thing that is definitely an issue, and with only 2 or 3 days left of the transfer window now, I do feel as though this is the area that really needs to be addressed quickly if we are going to be able to make that transition from, you know, being sort of top 8 as we were last year to challenging into the top 4. I think that's massively important. In terms of the individual players' performances, I don't think anybody was particularly poor, and I don't think anybody apart from Leno was particularly great. There were a few okay performances in there. I thought Gabriel at the back, once again for the 3rd game in a row that he's played, he's looked really strong and solid, reads the game well, he's comfortable with the ball at his feet, his range of passing short and long is fantastic, and he's got all the attributes to go on and have a really big successful career at Arsenal. I think he's exactly the sort of defender that we've been lacking for a number of years, commanding and just strong in the air as well. So I thought he was really good last night. Actually, I thought he played well. Rob Holding, of course, missed that great chance. He was okay defensively, not great. Again, he does make a few errors of concentration and stuff like that. He needs to improve, but overall he did okay. And Said Kolasinac gets a lot of stick. Of course, it could be his last game for us, couldn't it? There's rumours of him moving on back to Germany. We'll see what happens with that. He was okay, I thought. You know, yes, 1 or 2 mistakes, of course, but overall, I thought he did okay. Bearing in mind, he's not playing in his natural position, is he? He's playing as almost a third centre back when he's naturally a left wing back who likes to get forward. So I feel as though in the circumstances he's playing okay, all things considered. I say the midfield is the area for me. I thought Cedric Suarez actually on the right looked okay, didn't he? He put some good balls in at times. He got forward quite well. He's fairly solid defensively, so I think he played pretty well. Bukayo Saka I thought had a good game on the left. Maybe not as effective going forward as he would like to have been, but I thought he worked really hard. He showed his quality at times as well, and of course, you know, brilliant that he's got called up for the full England squad as well. So that's great news on that side of it. But the centre midfield to me is this issue. You know, Dani Ceballos and Granit Xhaka, both of them played okay. Let's be honest, they did, but the creativity was seriously lacking. We didn't create anything, did we, for most of the game, and that's frustrating because it isn't the first time this has happened. It's been a regular, recurring theme, and it needs to be put right. The front three were largely ineffective. I don't really blame them. They didn't really get the service, did they? I mean, Eddie Nketiah had that one opportunity. He should have done better, but he didn't really get a lot of service other than that, did he? I thought Pepe played okay on the left-hand side. He looked a little bit more, a bit more direct and a bit more dangerous. And I thought he did cause them a few problems at times. But again, his final ball's very hit and miss. He did put a couple of decent balls in, but he's still not performing at the level that we have expected him to, and I do feel that's another issue as well. And Joe Willock, I'm just not quite sure about Joe Willock. I don't know what his best position is. He was playing a bit further forward last night. Not really sure if that really suited him. He needs game times, I guess, because he's not really played enough first team football, has he? But are we going to progress much further with him in the team on a regular basis? I'm not convinced, unfortunately. So of course in the end it went to penalties, didn't it? And we've got a good record, haven't we, in penalty shootouts in recent years, which has been great. And once again we were able to come out on top. It wasn't looking that good, was it, when substitute Mohamed El Neni missed his spot kick. So Liverpool, after 3 kicks each, they were 3-2 up. And with Divock Origi going next, that was our future in the competition was hanging in the balance. I think if Origi had scored, then I do feel as though we would have gone out. but luckily he didn't hit a great penalty, did he, Origi? Bernardo was able to save it, and then we were right back in it. And of course, in the end, it was Harry Wilson, wasn't it, who missed for Liverpool? Well, it was a good save actually from Leno, diving down to his left-hand side. And it left Joe Willock, didn't it, to win us the game. Wasn't a great penalty, if we're honest, was it? But it did the job. It went in, and we triumphed 5-4. Of course, we can't not mention the penalties without speaking about Ainsley Maitland-Niles is another cool penalty from him. He's done it 5 or 6 times, hasn't he, in penalty shootouts for Arsenal. Very cool penalty taker he is, and he really took that one well last night as well, even though, as Arteta said, it gave him a few heart attacks. So we move on into the quarter-finals. This is a competition, of course, that we haven't had a lot of success in over the years, particularly in recent years. We haven't won it since 1993, although we did reach 2 finals reasonably recently. 2010, if you remember, against Birmingham, where we lost in the last minute, and then 2018, where we lost to Manchester City, didn't we, 3-0 at Wembley, our biggest ever Wembley Cup final defeat. And of course now we're playing Man City again, aren't we, in the quarter-finals. It seems like a few people are maybe writing our chances off already, but we've got to remember, one, we're at home, which is always a big advantage, and two, so far this season Manchester City haven't looked quite the same team that they have over the last few years. And we've just beaten Liverpool away and Leicester away in the 2 previous rounds, so I think we need to be confident. Plus as well, the next round isn't until December, just before Christmas, so there's plenty of time for us to get the new signings in, get them adapted to the style of play, and hopefully we can progress even further in the competition, because if we can get past Manchester City, it will open up for us, won't it, the opportunity to go all the way to Wembley and win another final. Of course, let's still remember Mikel Arteta is unbeaten now in 8 domestic cup ties, in charge of Arsenal since he's taken over, which is fantastic. 6 in the FA Cup and now 2 in the League Cup, and also as well, of course, going back to 2018, he hasn't lost a domestic cup tie at all, and that was, of course, when he's back for his Manchester City days. So a lot of things are in our favour. Last night wasn't, let's be honest, it wasn't a great performance, was it? But to go to Liverpool, even though it was a weaker Liverpool team, keep a clean sheet and go through was a great result. We couldn't really have expected any more. We did the job we had to do. Now we have to move forward and look ahead to Sunday's game, of course, in the Premier League, a really big game against Sheffield United. They've had a slow start, haven't they? They haven't scored a goal yet or got a point, but they've been playing some good football, especially last week against Leeds. I think that'll be a tough game. They've had a full week as well to prepare, having not been involved in any of the cup competitions. We've had a busy week, haven't we, playing Monday, Thursday and now Sunday. I'm expecting a few changes to the team. Hopefully there might be a new signing or 2 in the club before Sunday. I doubt they'll be able to play. They won't be registered in time anyway, but let's hope so. I mean, the transfer window hasn't got long to go now. It's getting down to that time where Arsenal tend to do their business at the end. Hopefully there's some good stuff to come in, because I think you can see in the last 2 performances against Liverpool how far away we are from actually being a team that can compete again, and we've got an opportunity now to maybe get a couple of players in that will improve us and help us to move forward. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed that video, just looking back on the game last night, of course, which did end in a good victory. I'll be back again on Saturday afternoon doing a video previewing the Sheffield United game, which is on Sunday. I'll then have some live coverage on Sunday as well of the game, you know, when the team news is in at half time and full time as usual, and then on Monday, transfer deadline day, of course, I will do a full review of the Sheffield United game, and also do some stuff on the transfer window as well, because hopefully there'll be some lot of good stuff to talk about with players coming in and players going out. So that's that for now then. So thanks for watching this video, thanks for your support of the channel. If you do like what I'm doing, please click the subscribe button. Please give this video the thumbs up as well if you like it, and stay tuned to the channel, I say, for lots of good stuff coming up. I'm going to try and get a live show in as well in the next few days, maybe in the early part of next week once the transfer window's over. Get another positive Arsenal podcast. Hopefully it will be able to be positive as well, if the transfer activity has been that good. So in the meantime, come on you Gunners!